Zuckerberg are talking about strength training. They're literally just talking about strength training.
Lunges and split squats and all these different things which like really strengthen up all the supporting muscles around the knee better than anything that I've ever
Absolutely.
tried.
And the reason why they do that, something like a split squat, for example, is because when you're having to stabilize with one leg, your glute med, which is a stabilizer muscle for your knee, gets a lot more engagement.
And he's got like a whole program where it scales up
He's
and
talking
puts
about knee over toes guy specifically.
online for everybody.
Yeah.
And he gives away a lot of information for free
Just
because he
strength
said, look, when I was 11 years old, I wish I had access to this, so I'm going to put it out there for everybody. Great guy. Yeah.
Cool.
But I can't recommend that stuff enough. But I think what you're doing is like strengthening shoulders, strengthening knee. That's really the way to do it.
So
like
he's
you have to
talking
think of muscles.
How Zuckerberg's doing, like focusing rehab type exercises, is just strength training. And Zuckerberg is like, oh, well, I don't really like to do the big compounds or anything anymore. Compound lifts meaning squats, hinging, all that sort of thing. But the bro's just doing strength training, and he's miscategorizing it.
In terms of like armor. If you want to do this thing, it's better to have good bumpers around your car if you might bump into other cars. You don't want to just have raw sheet metal.
For muscles.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people just focus on like the big movements and weight training. And it's, I don't know, first of all, for like a lot of fighting type stuff, you kind of want to be loose and like not super tight. So,
So the big lifts is exactly what Joe Rogan was just talking about, with split squats and even hinge patterns. Like even a Nordic curl is somewhat of an isolation move for your hamstrings, but either way, it's a big movement. I don't know. I don't know who's training these people, specifically Zuckerberg. I know Joe Rogan is kind of knows this stuff here, or at least is being inquisitive about it. But Zuckerberg, do your big lifts, man, and you won't have your knee messed up all the time.
But yeah, I mean, I just think like the joint stability stuff is you get older and you don't want to do this for a longer period of time.
Training through compounds like squats, split squats, etc. Those are big movements. I don't know if he meant like lifting heavy, which also is great. If you can correctly periodize that into a training cycle,
it's good to do.
Yeah, it's huge. It's mobility in general. It's just like so important.
You can compete in jiu-jitsu for a long time.
If you train with full range of motion through most of your main compound lifts, there are great implications for improved mobility doing that. But full range of motion is a key element in that.
Sure.
There's like all these masters divisions and stuff, and
I see those old crazy looking 7-year-old dudes trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
It's great.
It is great, but
Zuckerberg, do your squats, man.